Sarah, it's been a while since we've last talked.
It sure has been, Esther. And what would you like to tell me this time?
I have something to ask you about Emma.
And what would it be that interests you about my daughter?
My oldest son said that he saw Emma while he was taking a walk around the campus of one of the universities he's wanting to go to. Does this mean that she's wanting to go to T University as well? Because surely he just saw someone who looked like Emma, right?
I think that was her he saw, though. From what she's told me, she wants to go there with the goal of graduating with a master's.
Now Sarah, what the heck is going on there? I think she needs to lower her expectations, right? Unlike Robert, my oldest son, she is stupid and could never make it there. So maybe you'd better give her a talk about lowering her expectations so that she doesn't have her heart broken by reality later.
I'm not sure my daughter is as stupid as you think, though. So no, I'm not going to tell her to lower her expectations.
What are you talking about? No matter how hard she tries to get into that place, it's never going to happen, right? Could it be that she sees her cousin wanting to go to T University, and so she thinks that she can make it into there as well? I hear that she's wanting to take the same course as him there, medicine, correct?
Robert has nothing to do with her, actually. Honestly, I had no idea myself that he would be wanting to go to the same university as my daughter.
I wonder about that, though. I'm sure you're trying to get her to look good in front of all of us because we're all making fun of her for being an idiot, right?
Don't say that. Emma wants to go to that university, and that's why she's gone on that tour and will try to get in. So could you please, like you've been doing for a while now, leave my family and I alone?
Excuse me? What was that tone just then? I knew that you were going to start acting up again. I just knew it. Are you not aware that I'm texting you right now because I'm worried about your daughter? I do not want an idiot like her going to that school because that would cause something very upsetting to happen. We don't want to be sad, do we?
Honestly, I don't care that you're always looking down on me, Esther. But when you start saying things like that about my little sister, we have a problem. She has been putting in a lot of effort studying by herself outside of school, so you don't have to worry about her because she does not need it.
Sarah, Emma has the same high school graduate genes that her older sister has. It doesn't matter how much she wants to live the same dream as Robert. She's not going to be able to because she's not a part of my family. She has to learn that she can't just become anyone she wants to. Also, I happen to know about all of the bad things that kid has done, all right? Someone who's committed such horrible things like Emma should not enter a university with such history.
Tell me, what do you know about Emma then?
She would get into fights back in middle school with the teachers, and when she was in high school, she got suspended, right?
The reason she had those fights with her teachers in middle school was because of how they all treated one of her friends in the classroom. She was defending them because she knew that as a kid, her classmate did nothing wrong. And you can't even call what happened then fights. All she was doing was arguing.
Oh, is that so?
Also, the reason why she ended up getting suspended from high school was because she skipped school for days looking for another one of her friends that had gone missing. Emma has always been the one to act before asking for help, and so nobody knew where she was, and the school just assumed she had been trying to skip school on purpose. Sure, that may look bad on paper, but the reason for that suspension was only due to her wanting to help when a friend of hers went missing. I don't see any of that as bad things that she's done.
Huh! I knew you'd try to make light of everything that happened. With parents like yours, there's no wondering why Emma turned out to be anything but cute. She has too strong of an attitude and acts out before even putting any thought into what she's doing, just like the rest of you.
I like to think that Emma is a far more kind and outstanding woman than me.
And I'm sure that's true comparing her to you. After all, she's had the help of my younger son at some points, but here's the thing. My younger son is nothing compared to my oldest son. He went and quit his job running a massive hospital for us and is now working for some small family clinic, right? Her own father went and failed himself by doing such a stupid thing, so there is no way your guys' daughter will be able to make it anywhere in life, no matter how hard she tries.
Esther, I'm really getting upset right now. So would you please stop saying such horrible things about my family and piss off?
I'm just giving my opinion, and there's nothing wrong with giving my opinion, right? I don't ever remember you having the right to tell me what to do either. However, as your mother-in-law, I like to think that I do have the right of telling you what to do. Therefore, you need to stop your daughter from trying to get into T University. You already know that they won't accept her into that place, so what joy is there in watching your own daughter fail? There's no way Emma, of all people, is going to ever become a doctor.
Lay the hell off, Esther. I'm warning you right now that my family is not filled with idiots, so you need to stop that. Also, Emma is going to go there for medicine, which doesn't automatically mean she's wanting to become a doctor. There are plenty of other careers that require one to have studied medicine, and she'll get to decide which path she wants to take from there.
No matter what path she chooses, an idiot high schooler like herself won't be able to get anywhere at that university.
Then please, continue thinking that in silence. My daughter has nothing to do with you anyway. So go back to leaving me out of your thoughts and thinking only about your oldest son and his family. I am taking amazing care of my family, so we don't need your worries.
Huh, you really are such a hateful wife.
And I believe you're an even worse mother-in-law.
It's because you always act like such a jerk that I don't want you being a part of my family. Don't even bother coming to my house this Christmas either, all right? Only my family will be allowed to come to our house this year.
And that is completely fine with me. My family doesn't need to go back to a self-centered family of assholes during one of the most magical times of the year.
I'm really looking forward to what Emma looks like when she has to learn she can't get into that university and begins to break down. The worst thing idiots like her can do is dream big. Sarah, I have something to talk with you about. Do you mind listening to me for a minute?
What is it?
I'm very sorry.
What?
I wanted to talk with you right now in order to apologize for all the things I'd said before.
So what ended up happening to you that make you want to do that?
Recently, I've been having plenty of bad dreams, okay? And it's left me without a lot of sleep some nights. And, well, a few days ago, there was someone who entered one of those bad dreams. They began to preach to me about all the bad things that I've been doing and telling me to change my ways before it's too late. They even started to tell me to change how I think of you and your family, or else I'd burn in hell.
What? Are you really that type of person, Esther? The kind that takes what they see in their dreams as the truth and acts upon it?
It doesn't matter what it all started this. I never thought that I'd be getting told in my dreams that I'd have to apologize to you, but after all those bad dreams, I realized I really have been a bit rude to you and your daughter recently. I started to think about how it would feel to be you, having to listen to someone like me be so mean, and that made me feel even worse.
I see.
I never thought the day would come that I'd have to apologize to you for what I'd been doing. I'm sure you're not going to forgive me for any of it, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm sorry.
Well, I'm fine with the way things ended off last time. I don't think that I'll ever be able to grow close to you in any way, Esther, so there is really no reason for you to be apologizing to me. I like to think that my family isn't even related to all of you, and I'd kind of prefer things to stay that way.
I'm sure that's the case. I never even came to your guys' wedding. And there's never been a moment where I've given my own granddaughter a present as her grandmother. I completely understand why you want to stay away from my family and I, but there is something that I'm finally wanting to do with you guys, as a family.
We aren't asking to be back with any of you, so please keep that to yourself.
But if you don't listen to me, then I'll never be able to sleep comfortably. That's it. I'll pay for Emma's first semester of school there if she makes it.
No thanks. She's already been accepted and we have covered her fees.
Then would it be okay for me to send her a Christmas present this year? I wonder what Emma's been wanting this year. Her cousin Robert asked for some brand clothing, so I'd be willing to get her something around the same price as that for Christmas.
No, she doesn't need any presents from you. Emma was never treated as family by any of you guys, ever since she was born. So coming into her life 18 years later, finally acting like you're her family, would only piss her off. You can give her something if you really want to, but don't expect her to accept it with the same happiness that she accepts gifts from her dad and I.
I'm sorry, Sarah. So that's how badly we've ended up hurting her.
I'm going to be very clear here. I never ever thought the day would come that you would want to apologize to me for what you've done. But I will gladly accept what you've said to me today. That does not mean you are family to us now, and I would like for you to accept the fact that you all will never be family to us.
Then at the very least, allow me to make you guys some food for Christmas this year. You have no plans for Christmas yet, right?
Not yet. But we really don't need anything else from you, Esther.
Oh, please, Sarah. I know that I'm the only one who wants this, but I want to make up for what I've done. If you don't like anything I bring over, you can throw it all away. You don't even have to take a bite out of anything I cook. Just allow me the chance to make something for you all.
I don't enjoy wasting things like food, so I'm going to have to say no to your offer. You really do not have to worry yourself with my family anymore. I'll go ahead and tell my husband and daughter that you went and said sorry for what you've done. But don't think that your apologies are going to change anything afterwards.
I understand that. I'm sure hearing all of this out of nowhere today is a real shock to you, but I am very serious when I say how sorry I am for everything I've done. Not a single bit of what I'm saying here is a lie, I promise you that. I would like it if you at least come to understand that I've changed.
Emma, do you know what happened to the cake that was sitting out on the front porch?
Oh, that? I went ahead and tossed it.
You threw it away?
Yeah.
Why would you throw away the cake that your grandma sent to us? I understand your feelings towards her, because I share them as well, but the cake itself did nothing wrong, right? I'm sure that someone like you would have loved eating it, right? I was told the cake came from a really famous cake shop, and one that you've shown me on Instagram all the time.
Have you taken a look inside the trash can? That monster was trying to kill us.
What? What are you talking about, Emma?
After taking a look inside that cake, I noticed it was filled with peaches and peach jam, which is pretty crazy considering that she knows you and I are deathly allergic to peaches. I think she went and sent us that cake on purpose, Mom, with the purpose of trying to kill us.
No way. She told me it was just a simple vanilla cake with nothing inside it.
It looked like one from the outside, but when I cut it in half, there was peach and peach jam all over the place. And when I went onto that cake shop's website, they clearly stated that the cake had peaches on the inside. She knew that before buying it, which is also a bit strange because you told that monster already that we didn't want the cake.
I did tell her no. I'm so sorry, Emma. Thank you so much for telling me what you found.
You don't have to say sorry. I'm sorry for having to waste perfectly good food like that. I'm sure Dad could have still ate some of that cake when he got home.
Your grandma has never done something as insane as this, but now I'm wondering what all of that talk was about before. I'm a real idiot for thinking that she was actually wanting to apologize to all of us for what she'd been saying, with a freaking peach cake.
Don't beat yourself up over it, Mom. You've been beaten up and bullied by that family long enough now, and I'm sure seeing her want to apologize like that made you want to believe her a little. When I first saw the cake and card on the front porch from her, there was a second where I really thought it would be all right to start viewing them as my family.
But because I didn't make myself clear enough about not needing anything from her, you could have almost died. If you did end up eating from that cake instead of throwing it away, I don't know if I'd ever be able to forgive myself. Ugh. Now I'm really going to have to do something about that asshole. What she did this time crossed the line for sure.
Do you think she's doing this because she knows that T University is going to accept me?
I'm sure that's why, but she can't just kill you and I over it.
I'm sure she's completely lost it now, knowing that the one person she's called stupid all her life is about to go to the same school as her grandson.
I'm sure that's true.
I heard something from Robert, by the way. For months now, that whole family has been laughing about how I'd never be able to get into T University, or any college for that matter. And when they started to hear about how I went on that campus tour not too long ago, Robert's dad pissed himself laughing about it.
So it's been like that for months now.
That's why when I was told I could get a scholarship from the school, I made sure to tell Robert. When he heard that, he shut his mouth almost instantly. I got a full-ride scholarship, right? I'm thinking that Robert might not have been given any scholarship from the school. That might have led him to go crying to his family about what he heard, right? He knows now that I'll be going to T University fully covered, yet he won't be able to.
Emma, I really am so sorry.
Why do you keep apologizing to me, Mom? They're all the bad guys when it comes to what's been going on. Not only have they always called you stupid, but they've taken things out on me because they think I'm the same way. And just this week, you were apologized to by Grandma, which turned out to be a lie because she just tried to kill us, right? That's it. None of them can be considered people any longer. They're all animals.
I understand that. But the reason you have had to endure all this crap for them is because I was never able to be accepted by your grandma and her family.
Mom, I don't think you should be blaming yourself for that, though. You haven't done a single thing wrong that would be causing them all to hate you. I love the way you are and know that deep down you're one of the kindest people on this planet. You've done everything to take care of me and make sure that I'm feeling okay. And you've always been there to support me through whatever I want to do. I'm so happy that I became yours and Dad's daughter.
Emma.
And that's why I knew I had to go to college. I've had to grow up knowing about how that family has all treated you and Dad like idiots, and I wanted to prove them wrong. And very soon here, I will do just that. So, Mom, please don't blame yourself for what's happening now. I want you to just continue to believe in me and trust that I will end all this strife. Sarah, I heard about it. Emma really did make it into university?
Yes, she did. And who did you end up hearing that from?
Well, that doesn't matter right now. I just wanted to let you know congratulations and to tell that to her as well. My husband has even been praising her for what she's done. We're finally starting to see that she's taken after our family after all.
No, I don't think she has actually. The reason she made it this far is because of her own willpower.
But now I'm finally starting to accept you, Sarah. Since your daughter is now going to be going to T University, I can say that you are a part of my family, right? Next time I have all the family over, I'd love for you to stop by and say hi to all of us. We all want to hear about how Emma was able to study so much to be able to get into a school like that.
What are you going on about right now?
My oldest son, Robert, turned out to be nothing short of a failure. He wasn't even accepted into that university. And to make matters worse, he won't even leave his bedroom now, just sitting in there playing video games all day long. It turns out all that studying I was told he'd been doing before was a lie. I believed that he would become so successful, only to be stabbed in the back last minute. Oh, I am so upset at him.
You have no right saying any of that. I'm honestly shocked that you've changed your views of us so quickly.
Don't say things like that now. I'd always thought there was a chance Emma would be able to get accepted into that school.
Esther, do you still think that I have no clue about what all had been going on? That cake you sent over to our house for Christmas had peaches in it. You wanted to try and harm us then, didn't you? Even kill us, perhaps?
There were peaches in that cake? Why would some peaches being in that cake be such a harmful thing to you both?
You've known for a long time now that both myself and Emma are deathly allergic to peaches. And don't tell me you forgot.
What? Is that right? No way, I never knew. But, things turned out okay in the end, right? Emma was able to get accepted into that school, and I heard with a full-ride scholarship as well. That has to mean you guys didn't end up harmed by the cake.
Stop acting like you had no clue right now, Esther. Normally, you would never even bother to talk with any of my family. Yet for some reason, you wanted to apologize to us by sending that cake over for Christmas.
I don't remember anything.
Is that so?
Well, let's just go ahead and forget that ever happened and move on. You've finally become a part of my family now, right? So there's no reason for us to be fighting about what all happened then. That's right. Do you mind telling me what Emma's phone number is? I want to take her out to get her something as a gift for getting into that university.
Esther, shut your damn mouth right now. My family has nothing to do with you guys, and we have no plans of ever talking to any of you ever again.
Huh?
We have never wanted anything to do with you and your family. But after you went and tried to have my daughter and I killed, as well as say all those horrible things about her when you first learned she wanted to go to T University, I have something I need to tell you. So allow me to do that right now.
What?
Don't you ever, and I mean ever, talk to me again. We will not ever talk to you guys again, nor will we ever meet with you guys again.
You went and married my son, remember? We're all family, yet the way you're talking to me right now is not good at all, right? Especially since right now is the only chance you have at finding peace with us. What do you think you're doing saying no to such peace?
I don't want peace with you all. And it was all of you that started such a war where you looked down on my family and I. Before you came and apologized to me for all of that. But that was just a lie in order to sneak a bomb into our house. I will not trust you again, Esther. Now leave us alone.
My husband is in charge of a hospital right now, correct? You told me before that Emma wants to become a doctor, right? He could become a very good resource for her if they started to get along with one another, don't you think?
No. I never said that she wanted to become a doctor. I just said that she's going to study medicine, so she won't be needing your husband. Emma has plans of her own at that university, and I'm not going to force her to have to change her ways just because her grandpa has a hospital. Leave us alone, please.
Ugh, we cannot expect anything from my oldest anymore. We plan to put all our focus into you guys now since you've shown that Emma is competent, okay? That's not a bad thing at all now, is it?
All that is to us is bad news. Now let me tell you this one more time. Don't you ever come around or talk to my family again! My husband and I will go ahead and block all of your guys' phone numbers later to ensure we never have to hear from any one of you ever again.
My husband is willing to pay for Emma to go.
She's on a full ride scholarship, so she won't be needing his help. You have all been making fun of and belittling her all her life, so she has no need for help from any one of you. I'm sure the only reason you are wanting us in your family now is because you want to have bragging rights over the fact that one of your grandchildren was able to make it into that university.
My husband and I have always been hoping for Emma to get into that school, and now that she's there, we want to support her as she becomes a doctor. Because if we don't, we won't have anyone to take over my husband's hospital after he's gone. Originally, it was supposed to be your husband who took it, but he left that path when he married you, right? And when it comes to my oldest, he's not known as a very good doctor around these parts. If we don't do anything soon, our hospital is going to end up in the hands of some stranger after my husband leaves.
Then you get your grandson Robert to start trying a little harder and hope he can get into T University next year. Both of his parents graduated from good universities as well, so based off of how you think things through, that should give Robert a 100% success rate of getting into that university and becoming a doctor. Right? You all made so much fun of my daughter because she had me as her mother, yet when it came to Robert, you all wanted to praise and support him. So I'm sure he'll turn into the doctor you've all been expecting from him.
Robert no longer wants to become a doctor, and it sounds like he did terrible on all of his exams as well. My oldest and his wife have been lying to me this whole time and how he was doing so well in school. That's why the only person we can look to now for help is your daughter, Emma.
The fact that you only want her to be your family is when you guys are in dire need of help is pathetic. And it's not like any of us care about your husband's hospital. Sure, it will no longer be a part of your family, but all of the doctors and nurses there will still be helping people in need. So we have nothing to be worried about here.
Please, Sarah, at the very least you can get your husband to come back to us. As long as we have him around to take over the hospital next, we won't have to be as worried as we are right now.
You guys all picked on my husband the most after he left. You really think he wants to come back and help you all out now?
I promise to apologize to him for all of that. And I promise that I'll never behave rudely with any of your family ever again after this. So please, Sarah.
And the last time you said you'd be apologizing to us, you tried to have my daughter and I killed with a cake for Christmas. Which means I no longer have to hear any of your hollow apologies. The only reason you guys want that hospital to stay in the family anyway is so that you guys can have your names go down in history, right? Well, I'm sorry, but you are all monsters. And monsters have no right being remembered as people who care about everyone else. So give it up. My family doesn't have to help any of you, and we won't.
This is the hospital that my ancestors started centuries ago.
I don't give a damn. It was your jobs to make sure that hospital didn't fall apart and into someone else's hands. That had nothing to do with my family. You never thought of us as your family, so perhaps that's where you first messed up, and why you're crying for help now. After that, my husband and I went through all the members of that family that had laughed at us and mistreated us, and blocked all of their phone numbers. We also made sure to go onto our social media accounts and block them all on there as well, so that there'd be no way for them to message us on there either. We then used this chance to move out of our apartment and into a house closer to my husband's clinic, so we can expect that there will be no more cakes coming filled with peaches, and no visits from any of them trying to get in touch with Emma. I also made sure to call the campus of where Emma is going to go, and let them know about the situation with Esther and them, just in case they try to go out there to see her. Later, I learned that due to the fact that Esther's oldest wasn't able to take on the hospital from her husband, the hospital itself started to have some issues with the law. Apparently, he had been wanting to take the hospital from his father, but due to his lack of responsibility in the workplace, he began to crumble and started to obtain multiple lawsuits due to his malpractice. and that would cause the image of the hospital as a whole to grow worse as time went on. Apparently, he had had many patients complain about his practices there, but after months of him not ever bothering to communicate back to the upset patients, they got lawyers to fight for them. I still can't believe that both Esther and her husband would want to choose Emma to take over that kind of a hellhole from them. After all the horrible things they said about her before, in the 18 years of treating her like a stranger, I'm so thankful that Emma was able to get into the university of her dreams, that being T University, as it was a way of showing all those monsters just how wrong they were, and to force them to live in regret knowing that their hospital doesn't have much longer. It's been a little while since all that took place, and my daughter is starting her first week at T University. Esther's husband's hospital has been all over the news recently due to all the recent mistakes my husband's brother has been making there. Of course, he was already facing scrutiny for all his malpractice cases, but due to his pure lack of care these past few months, the city is asking that the hospital be taken by the state, and both Esther's husband and her oldest have to leave the hospital. There had been reports of things like my husband's brother starting to touch some of the female staff and patients there inappropriately, and that he'd often threaten some of his patients if they ever questioned him. Only a week after that news, word then got around that my husband's brother finally lost his license and can no longer work as a doctor or in the healthcare system. A lot of those court cases began to finish up as well, and he was charged with quite a decent number of malpractice cases, as well as a couple of cases of workplace harassment and patient harassment, both sexually and emotionally. All of those victims would not only get a lot of money from him in the end, but he'd also be sentenced to 2 years for what he'd done. I feel so sorry for all the doctors and nurses that had to work under them in that hospital, and I hope some of these changes that are being made helps them and their situations out a lot. If not though, I know there are plenty of hospitals and clinics out there looking for help, so perhaps it's best for everyone that the hospital is shut down and everyone goes somewhere else. As for Emma herself, she is still not quite sure about whether she wants to become a doctor or not yet. After all the things she had to hear about her grandpa and uncle, I can't blame her for not wanting to have anything to do with becoming a doctor. But she has always been very clear about how she wants to be like her father, working in healthcare and making sure everyone is taken care of. Knowing that she's turning out just like her father, I believe that no matter what path she chooses to go down, she'll end up making a difference in a lot of people's lives. I just hope that in her eyes, it doesn't matter what she does for a living after school, and that as long as she's happy with what she's doing, that's all that matters. And to make sure that can happen for her, my husband and I will continue to love and support all her choices as we protect her future of happiness, which she deserves. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.